China has apparently trespassed in Philippine waters more than once this year, and not only fishing vessels but also warships have passed through Philippine territory without prior notice to Philippine authorities. If this isn't a blatant show of aggression, what else could it be? 113 Chinese fishing vessels circling around the biggest island occupied by the Philippines in the West Philippine Sea. Has China leveled up its tactics to intimidate the country? This is Speak Up, bringing you all information about the Philippines. This includes weekly trending news taken from a variety of resources where you can know different views of people on certain issues. Let's go over the details on this issue. It is not the first time that Chinese fishing vessels were found swarming around the Philippines' Pag-asa island. Last March of this year, the same event happened. What is in this island? Pag-asa Island is the biggest Philippine-occupied island with an established municipality and a Philippine military presence. In the first quarter of this year, there have been more than 600 Chinese fishing vessels surrounding the island as monitored by the military. This has resulted to the blocking of the path of Filipino fishermen fishing in the area. More alarmingly are the warships, including a Chinese aircraft carrier that had unauthorized passage through the country's territory. Besides this, it was said that the Chinese military ships also turned off their automatic identification system or AIS as they passed through the Philippines. When asked about the matter, the Chinese envoy only said to the country's defense secretary that it was a mistake. It might be a big wonder to anyone how this can be a mistake, since the ships have passed through Philippine waters not once, but several times, and alarmingly with no intention of letting their presence known. The latter is even a much more serious offense. What could be China's motive behind swarming around the Philippine island? According to the Philippines' National Security Advisor, China's motive remains unclear. He said that there could be several possibilities. They could be there to prevent Filipino boats from patrolling in the area, but nothing is for sure. What has been done to address this issue? A diplomatic protest has already been filed by the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, which is the second since the sinking of a Filipino fishing boat by a Chinese vessel in June. Since the protest, over 100 of the Chinese ships have left the Philippine waters according to the military. However, their reason for leaving might be largely due to the bad weather. To strengthen its position in the West Philippine Sea further, the Philippines is also considering making its biggest and most strategically important outpost in the South China Sea as a tourist destination. Currently, facilities in the island are undergoing much-needed upgrades. The Defense Secretary said in a news conference that structures will be built for the troops patrolling the area, and maybe some hotels for tourists will be added as well. Despite issues on the disputed waters, the relation between the Philippines and China has remained warm due to the president's pacifying approach towards Beijing. Meanwhile, according to Reuters, the US has renewed its push to build alliances with countries unnerved by China's transgressions in the South China Sea. The United States has laid out an Indo-Pacific strategy which challenges Chinese maritime hegemony and seeks stronger ties with nations pushing back against Beijing. Last August 6, the Philippines President Dutelte confirmed that he will be raising the issue on the arbitral ruling against China in his next visit this month. He is reportedly scheduled for his fifth visit to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping later this month. The palace has not made any further move to express its indignation over the Chinese ship's transgression. Not even did Malacanang summon the Chinese ambassador to discuss yet another alarming offense by none other than China. How can the country be assured that these Chinese warships won't pass through Philippine territory with all intention to hide again? It sends out a clear message of trespassing and deception, and not to mention a total disregard to rules of the sea. What will come out of the president's upcoming meeting with the Chinese president? Will there be another verbal deal that leaves a question as to whether it is enforceable or not? Whatever the result of this meeting will be, there shouldn't be any room for doubts and questions of uncertainty. There should be a formal agreement between two principled leaders who sincerely wish peace and cooperation, especially in the disputed waters, and that agreement without any doubt should be upheld. Without it, China's recent offenses will just be another of its future, and who could tell, bigger violations, and the Philippines with its rightful claims will just keep walking on eggshells whenever this issue is brought up. This is the weekly trending news. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.